Hello and welcome to another episode of the FPL Hangover podcast, where we raise the bar in order to own all things FPL related. We are coming to you on the 28th of November. Game week 13 has finished and we are less than 48 hours away from game week 14. So that's the reason for the early episode. There's a whole feast of FPL fun in front of us. And fun fact, actually, there are more FPL game weeks in the festive period this year than Seamus has points from any of his transfers since his wildcard. And here to justify why we should listen to him, my podcast partner in crime, Seamus. How are you getting on, my friend?
I'm doing very good. Very good. Thank you for having me. Although, why you should listen to me is because I actually spout correct facts, unlike your incorrect fact there. There are 8 game weeks over the festive period, starting from, let's say, game week 14 to 21. And I have 14 points from my 10 transfers I've made since my wildcard. I'll have you know.
Okay.
Not really doing me much service there. An average of 1.4 points per transfer immediately. But what I will say is they generally have been doing better in week 2, 3, or 4 since I've had them. But only if you're a defender, like Trent or Cancelo.
Well, the spirit of my message was accurate. It was accurate in spirit, which is kind of...
It holds true in spirit.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of the point of the whole show. It's like, it's accurate in the spirit of FPL. And speaking of the spirit of FPL, how was game week 13 for you? Was it green arrow, red arrow?
Big fat red arrow. I've just dropped outside 100k again. So as you pointed out earlier, I don't come on the pod when I have a green arrow.
No.
I'm just modest like that. So last week I broke into top 100k again for like the first time since like game week 6 or something like that. I dropped outside 100k. But yeah, I got up to 91k, and at the minute it looks like on live FPL they had me at like 105k. So bit of a meh game week. Had all the guys that did bits. I think I had a game week rank of 2.7 million. So I'd like points from Sanchez, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Salah captain, and Tony. The rest all blanked. My move this week was to get in James for Chilwell. I had exact cash for it. Didn't want to overthink it, so I did that move. And James got 1 point to go with, like I mentioned there, last week I got Kane, 2 points. Week before that, Chilwell, 2 points. A couple of weeks before that, Tony and Trent, 2 points and 1 point. Before that, Vardy and Cancelo, 1 point each. Before that, Antonio Gallagher, Alonso, 2-2-0. So yeah, there's my 14 points from my 10 transfers. Like you can see there, Gallagher's got me points subsequently. Cancelo has, Trent has, even Tony the last 2 weeks has scored. Chilwell last week. I just really wish 2 weeks ago I got James instead of Chilwell. That would have been, I think he was up like something like 7 or 8 points in him anyway. Plus I wouldn't have had to use my transfer this week on that. So yeah. Sorry, I hijacked the show there.
Oh yeah, big time. I was like, I wanted to give you as much time as you could, because it has been a couple of weeks, and yeah, you really seemed like you were venting there. You just letting it all spill out. These are my transfers. This is what I've done. Like, I could have got chill. There's probably a million more times you're gonna do that between now and the end of the show. So for everyone listening and watching, like and subscribe now, because you'll probably be, you might not make it to the end. I think Seamus has got a lot to get off his chest, but it was a green arrow for me this week, Seamus. I'm keeping the spirit of the show alive in the sense of like, we might know what we're talking about at times.
You're single-handedly keeping the pod going.
Yeah, well, yeah, and 25k is my current overall rank, so 25.7k to be fair. And it was another green arrow week, 62 points overall. I think the safety score on live FPL net was 57, so not massively above that, but not for a little green arrow. Same as yourself, Shem. It's not a whole lot of difference between the two teams. Happy to see Tony returning. The big difference is Diogo Jota, whatever way you want to say it. I did get him in this week, Foden out for Jota, so that was 14 points in the bag. I'll take that. Pretty happy with the week overall. But spinning it back to you, Seamus. No Jota? No whole lot of Jota?
No, Diego Gota. Yeah, as I've seen him called on Twitter. I wouldn't call him the GOAT just yet. He still has a ways to go before he's better than Salah.
I think I saw Diogo Shota. It was, I got a chuckle out of me, but I think I just butchered it.
That works well. Yeah, well, I wanted him the last couple of weeks. I made a decision 2 weeks ago to go for Kane or Jota at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I went with Kane. This was
Here we go.
last week.
Here's one of those moments. I
And
knew this is all gonna come pouring
yeah,
out. Yeah.
well, we mentioned it pre-pod, and I think we talked on it when I was on the pod 2 weeks ago. We're talking about, do we get Kane, do we get Son? And I was like, I would be surprised if I got either of them. I think I'm just going to get Jota. And in the end, I went with Kane and deferred Jota for 2 game weeks. It was really about who gets more in the next two, Jota or Kane, and I thought Kane would. So yeah, I went with Kane. I said I'll get Jota in game week 14, and yeah, it turned out to be completely the wrong move, because not only has Jota got 3 goals in that time, Kane has only had 1 game because his game today got postponed, and the man I sold Kane for, Jamie Vardy, ended up banging 2. So I'm down 5 goals in that transaction, because I could have got Jota in without a hit or anything that week. So yeah, that's me standing here holding my dick in my hand, and yeah, not doing so well. But look, these are the breaks. That was a 50-50 call.
Paddy's off this week, Seamus. I thought we were gonna keep the dick jokes to a minimum, out of respect for our missing comrade.
I was afraid that this pod would be like PG-13 or family friendly if someone didn't start swearing. So I just felt like I'll just get it out of the way early.
I don't know how much I swear. I've been told it's quite a bit, but
we were told that we are very unfamily friendly, or family unfriendly, I guess is the phrase I'm looking for.
By multiple people. Multiple people. It's a bit irritating. But anyway, back to to FPL. Yeah. Jota, yeah, I guess he's on your hit list now. He's your numero uno targeto.
Yeah, he was going to be coming in this week. Like I said 2 weeks ago, it was Kane. I went for it, and I was like, I'll roll game week 13 and I'll get Jota in, because I can't get Jota now without freeing up some money. So I got to sell either Tony or Antonio. So one of those two has to go down to a cheaper player, and then I can upgrade Sarr to Jota. Now, annoyingly, Sarr dropped last night. Really annoying. So because he was at 6.1 like a week ago, and then he dropped before the deadline, and he dropped like after the deadline again. So that's very frustrating. Yeah, so he'll become Jota. Stop laughing. But the problem is now, because Chilwell got injured last week and I had the exact money to go for James, that seemed like a no-brainer. Now if I want to get Jota in this week, I'm gonna have to take a hit. But I might just roll it, and I might just do it at the weekend instead. I don't know just yet. It's frustrating. I have to decide. The most annoying part here is trying to decide who to downgrade from Tony or Antonio, because there's merits to keeping both. They both still have some decent fixtures coming up. Antonio's is tougher right now. Well, he just played City. But
I assume that's why you begged to come on this week. You just wanted to get my opinion on the whole thing. I'd
love to get your opinion on it.
No, I get it, man. I get it. I respect that. I would just say guess like Everton, Wolves, Villa, and Newcastle in the next 4 for Jota. I'm happy with that. If I like you're talking about like would I take a hit for this week in a away match to Everton? Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily mind rolling it. I think like that could like I'm put it this way. I'm very happy I have Jota against Everton, but like if you went maybe to be honest, the last time I thought that was against Arsenal and he scored, and I know
I was the same against Arsenal. I was like, I thought the same. I thought, you know what, Arsenal, it's a tough game, but then Tavares decided to pass in the ball onto the penalty spot, and he had an easy tap in. So that is liable to happen but Liverpool are just so good. Just need to get on.
I agree.
Like I said it a couple of weeks ago. I said Liverpool smashing team 4-0. There's nothing for me. Because everyone has Alexander-Arnold, everyone has Salah captain. If you even had Van Dijk or Robertson this week, there's an extra 12, 15 points. It doesn't have to be Jota. Even Mane. Okay, I know Mane did nothing.
I think it does.
But
I'm going to correct you right there. No, it does. I mean,
I can't justify going Jota or Mane over Jota. Yeah. Sorry. I agree.
And you do need to think about it now, because maximize that whole Firmino being absent thing. But I mean, it's easy to say that after he's gone off and got a brace. Do you know what I mean? It's easy to go, oh well, James, like this is what you got to do. But you have been focused on someone else, and you did go on about Jota. You mentioned the previous, you talked about him. But there was another player that you were kind of going on about 2 weeks ago, and he didn't do much last week, but he did deliver this week, and it's a Man City asset. It's not Foden, it's not KDB, it's someone that kind of rang a few doorbells last year. ran away then this year.
KDB.
No, Gundogan. Gundogan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I laugh at suggestions of KDB. He's just like fallen off the face of the earth as an FPL asset. He's never really recovered from, his injuries. I think.
Yeah, there has been a lot of shit going on, and this year's kind of a bit of a write off. But we've seen that happen before. He's had seasons where he needed recovery time, or he was specifically injured, and I think we know that he's what he's capable of once you start seeing a bit of form return to him. Like, I'm not writing him off in the future, but yeah, right now he's dead. He is dead to
he's
us.
old. He's older now. I think he's past his peak now.
All right.
I don't think he'll ever get to. Now, in fairness, that the heights he was at was immense. Like, he was a great player.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll ever get back there again. He'll show flashes of it, but he won't be consistent, and he won't prove his price in FPL.
I'm writing it down. Hot take: Seamus, KDB's done as an asset. So the next
Foden is the future of Man City FPL, or maybe Grealish will get better too. But like, Sterling's on his downward decline now.
KDB has been is what I've written down here. So hopefully that comes back to bite you in the ass. But yeah, speaking of assets that aren't has-beens, Gundogan. Go for it. Tell me, what's your pitch?
Well, the pitch is that everyone had been disappointed in Foden before his injury. 3 blanks in a row. Then he kind of got this knock, and he was talking about being out. And look, it was an easy move for you this week to go Foden to Jota. Mm-hmm. So I knew, like, before anything happened, and you didn't have a Chilwell injury to deal with, I was like, that's going to be Jota's move. And I was kind of jealous of it. So I just needed Jota to be quiet. But I had been considering going for Gundogan. He's about the same price. I think he's 7.1. I'm open to correction. I think it could be 7.2 now. But he's been getting into the box. He's been arriving.
7.2. He's 11.8% owned. No, 3.1%. Sorry, I keep going across you. But he's 3.1%. I don't know where the fuck I just read 11.8. Sorry.
That could be someone like Bernardo Silva or something like that, who's a similar price. But compared to like Foden, who's injured anyway, Gundogan's still arriving into the box. He's still taking up a lot of the same positions he was last year with. We know how well he plays when Kevin De Bruyne is not in the team, and Kevin De Bruyne hasn't been in the team. Kevin De Bruyne has had COVID. Mm-hmm. Who knows how long it's going to take him to get over that fully. So I was thinking he's going to be doing
he's done anyway, so I wouldn't worry about it.
He's a has-been anyway. But when he's in the team, it is going to stunt. It may stunt Gundogan's, advanced positions. But he will arrive in the box. He gets a lot of those tap-ins. Typical Bernardo Silva does. He's done it for us in the past, so I have goodwill towards the man. That's his second goal of the season now. He scored, but got assist then as well.
He's good.
Oh, he's on 2 before today, maybe. Yeah. 3 goals. Yeah, I think he's just, the reason of being is City has this amazing fixture run. So from 14 onwards, it's Villa, Watford, Wolves, Leeds, Newcastle, Leicester, Brentford. That takes you up to the 29th of December. It's just so many green ticket fixtures on there. There'll be a rotation there, but like, I can see, okay, Aston Villa's a tough one. We don't know what to expect from them from Steven Gerrard's Villa just yet. But Watford away, Leeds at home, Newcastle away, Brentford away. Those are like 4 fixtures in the next 8 that are, in the next 7 that are like just amazing. So
what you're saying is you're going to get in Gundogan instead of Jota. You're going to put your money where your mouth is.
No, what I want, like, ultimately my plan is, I'd love to just do it now and just
do it, Seamus. Do it live.
Man, I'd love to just have I'll do it. Look at my team right now and tell you what I'd love to do. I'd love to go.
No, don't do that. That's just wanking into your podcast.
No, fuck you, Antonio. Get out of there, right? Come in, welcome into my team, Dennis. Sit on my bench for the next couple of weeks. Bye, Sar. In you come, Jota. What's that leave me with? 0.9 left. There you go. Rafinha, that leaves me 7.5 for a midfielder. I'm not going to get to Foden, so... And this is the whole reason...
Do it now. Do it now.
This is the whole reason I'm thinking of it, because I know I can't get to Foden there as well. And then I could get Bernardo or I could get Gundogan. And I know which I prefer. I prefer Gundogan.
Go for it.
I do that.
Go for it right now.
Do it. Take a -8.
Just do it, man. Have a bit of balls. This is what wins competitions. You might win the Premier, the FPL Hangover Manager of the Month award if you make those kind of decisions.
Because it's for the month of December. If I do my hits now on the 28th of November, does that count for next month? Or
well, the next game week is the next game week in the start of December. It is, isn't it?
Tuesday is the 30th and Wednesday is the 1st.
Oof, I'm just gonna leave it up to whatever the game says when I put it to December. I just go to manager the one for December, I'm gonna use those totals. So I'm not gonna make that call live on air.
So what you're saying is if you want to win the manager of the month for December, take your
Take your
hits
hits
now.
now.
So you're endorsing this
I
-8,
think
and then I would have Salah, Jota, Gundogan, and Gallagher in
I
midfield
think it's what
with
you've been
a
missing. It's what you've been missing for a couple of seasons now, Seamus. That bit of ruthless aggression. That's what you
yeah.
need.
Yeah, I just need to think about this because I do need to take out one of my forwards and I have too much money in there. It's just I need to downgrade to someone playing. And I think someone like King or someone like Dennis is just that's the obvious move, isn't it? I just got to decide what to do
Well,
because
let's
my
talk
alternative is
about
Tony down to 4.4.
let's talk about that for a second. You've mentioned King and Dennis, and they were both on the score sheet this week against Leicester when they lost 4-2. So yeah, they are scoring. Watford forwards though, bit of a nasty couple of fixtures coming up in the immediate future. Am I right?
Yeah, the next two are not great at all. You've got Chelsea at home and City at home. Now, at least they're at home.
What the fuck does
Let's
that
not
mean
say
to a team that just conceded 4 goals to Leicester? And didn't they lose 5-2 to Everton or 5-3 to Everton, or did they beat Everton 5-3?
No, they
They
beat
beat
Everton. They
Everton.
beat
Yeah,
Everton 5-2.
I just think, like, correct me if I'm wrong now, because I mean, I'll caveat this with the fact that I haven't really looked at a post-Ranieri Watford in terms of stats and stuff, but we are getting to that stage where the matches are adding up and the stats are becoming a bit more significant. But they seem to be just a lot more gung ho. Like they hammered up United last week, 4 goals. They got 2 against Leicester this week. Like, is it like their forwards are on form? So is it fair to say? Do you think, Seamus, that Ranieri has made them more attacking?
it seems to be that
Yeah,
way. Now, I'd have to look into the underlying numbers a bit
that's what
more,
I'm saying. I
but
tried to
it's a
caveat it because I think that neither of us
yeah,
have done our due diligence with the stats there. But go on.
it's difficult, right? There's 6 games since Ranieri's come in. 3 of them they failed to score. So Southampton at home they lost 1-0. Arsenal away they lost 1-0, and Liverpool at home they lost 5-0. But then on the opposite side of that, so you're thinking, oh, 3 blanks, especially 2 of them at home. You're thinking, oh, not great. But then they've scored 2 away to Leicester, 4 at home to Man United, and 5 away to Everton. So, yeah, it's hard. Now, if you think about the Man United game, 2 of those came in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah,
They were
that's
2-1
fair.
up. They got,
But they
yeah.
did also
But
miss 2 penalties. Well, one
yeah,
penalty and whatever.
yeah, and then Everton, like I think 3 of those goals came in the last 10 minutes against Everton. So they're scoring some late goals. But yeah, he just seems to have them set up to just kind of just go, attack. And I was looking at the XG of that game because I missed the Leicester Watford game. I wanted to see what the story was. And I'm on the Fantasy Football Scout members area here looking at the XG, and it's like Leicester 2.35, Watford 2.65. So on the XG, they technically should have won, but that's obviously not how games go. But my point is they were quite attacking, slightly more attacking than Leicester, in fact.
Yeah, they were deserving of
yeah,
their goals. Like, they were creating the chances.
yeah. So it all balances out that they've got 6 goals. They got 11 goals in 6 games since Ranieri's come in. So that's nearly 2 a game. So I mean, and the real reason that they stand out here is that no one else in the forward line of our teams here is doing any good. Like if I look at form, if I just look at forwards sorted by form on the FPL site, Dennis is top of the form 6.5, then Pookie 5.2, Armstrong 5.2, Jimenez 5.2, Watkins 4.8, Adams 4.8. Even Vardy, who just scored like 12 points today with 2-goal brace against Watford, he's like, I'm going to say 9th or 10th on the list with form of 4.2. That's how poor his form up to this had been. That even after getting a double-digit haul like this, he's not kind of jumped up to the top of the list. Watkins is like 5th on the list. Adams, it's a real who's who of crap.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah. So it's yeah.
So
like
you're just what
I'd
you're
rather
saying
have
is you can
Dennis.
justify dropping down to the like, they're very cheap, like less sub 6 million strikers are always a gift. And yeah, no, I mean, I'm with you. I am going to give it a bit more time though, as we mentioned, like tough enough fixtures. But if you're in a situation like similar to yourself, Seamus, where you're looking at making maybe a structural change, i.e. you're getting rid of a striker or you're adding to a midfield, like that's maybe where you make that few bob, and you mightn't have to jump all the way down to a 4.4 cannon fodder either. You could be able to get in on a pretty cheap Watford striker. But you mentioned Antonio, and you're looking at getting rid of him. He has been woeful. I think it's 2 goals in his last 9 matches, and it continued this. Now I know no one was expecting a whole lot from Antonio this week. A lot of people benched him. A lot of people saw him coming back onto their teams because of the postponement in the Spurs match, and a lot of disappointed FPL managers right now in Antonio's recent performance. Are you sell?
Yeah, like I brought him in for a hit, like in a mini wildcard 3 move transfer. That also saw me bringing in Alonso. I'm spending a lot of money on Chelsea transfers on Chelsea fullbacks this season. So 7 game weeks ago, and I totted up there. He got like 2, 2, 7, 1, 2, 2, 2 or something like that. He's really got me like a 7-pointer and all a bunch of 2s since then. He had been flying, but he has not been good since I've had him back. And West Ham have looked good. I mean, in that game time, they scored 7 goals in 2 games against Villa and Liverpool. He wasn't involved at all. Away to Wolves. Then they played Wolves away. They lost 1-0. I was expecting to do better than that. Wolves are a decent team, but they just were off it that day. And look, I threw him in today because Sarr was going to be injured, and it was going to be him or Sissoko.
But like breaking away from your own FPL team, like there's plenty of FPL managers out there that are saying, like, oh, why would I ever get rid of Antonio? We know what a proven FPL asset he is, and Brighton this week at home to Brighton. That's, you'd think on paper, if you viewed Antonio that way, that that's a pretty good fixture.
Yeah, he's in the ICT rank index for forwards. He's number 1 for threat and number 1 for creativity. His ICT index overall is 1. He's number 2 for influence. So, like, the ICT index is saying that he's still up there. However, I think that's factoring in the entire season. So for the entire season, with 6 goals, 4 assists in 13 games, he's doing as well as most forwards. So that's probably why he's in there. But you gotta just look at form. I haven't seen today's game against City. But anytime I've watched him, he pulls out right, he pulls out left, he kind of drags people left and right. He hasn't looked extremely threatening. And the reason I haven't sold him is I wanted to show the faith with him. He did so well at the start of the season. Yeah, we've had him previous seasons. One of the things I don't want to do is, sell too early. Now, we should also point out, I'm just looking at it here, the most goals he's ever scored in a Premier League season is 10, the last 2 seasons. So I don't know why we're expecting him necessarily to score 18, 15 goals this year. Maybe he's
because he started off on fucking on fire. I think that's why. I mean, the whole question with Antonio was always whether he could maintain his fitness, And so far, he hasn't had injury problems this season, and obviously, long may it continue for him. But we are coming into a pretty jam-packed session for the next couple of weeks, fixtures wise, and you got to imagine, he might miss 1 or 2, so that would soften the blow and make it maybe a little less nervy. Maybe it's Brighton he misses, Seamus.
Yeah, it won't soften it for me if he starts and bangs in 2 goals against Brighton this week, though. Especially considering I have Sanchez in goals. But it's a really hard game to kind of sell him for. It's easier for me to sell Tony. And look, by rights, I should be looking at selling Kane. Yeah, because he's just not proving to be valuable.
Why do you think you should sell Tony? He's just come off the back of 2 goals.
Because I got to sell someone. It's got to be a forward. So would you sell Kane, Tony, or Antonio?
I'd be kicking Antonio right out of there. Antonio to. It would depend on what your second move is, but Antonio down to preferably a Watford striker or a basement bargain if that's the way it works out.
No, see, Tony has to be. If I'm getting rid of Tony, it has to go the whole way down to 4.4. So you're talking Davis or Lacadia.
That's fair enough.
That leaves me with a non-playing player over the Christmas period. Look, I'd have Sissoko and I'd have Livramento. Maybe I only ever go too deep on my bench over Christmas, but then all you need is 1 injury or 1 suspension, like a red card for somebody, and all of a sudden you've got 1 player on your bench. You're really struggling. So I don't want to do that unless it's absolutely necessary. So
I think you can get away with 1 bench fodder. I've been getting away with 2 for I don't know, the last month, and now that's something I do want to rectify this week. But I think you even mentioned it to me, I think not so long ago, that you so rarely get your 3rd sub off the bench.
Oh yeah, and that's what I was going to do. That was in my head. I was like, I'm not worried about going down to 4.4 for my 3rd player. It's how often will I need it? And it most weeks you won't need it. Okay, 1 week you might go, I don't need any substitutions. But say for example I do that, and next week, I don't know, Rafinha gets it. No, say
don't be creating some hypothetical situation.
No, just say Rudiger gets his 5th yellow card or something like that, and he's going to miss a game.
Is he on 4?
Right. No, I just picked a name of
okay,
like
so
someone who's gonna
completely
start. I don't know
hypothetical
what he's on.
situation. Go on anyway. Go
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Say he like, let's say he gets a red card, or just say he gets like his fifth
Sees
yellow, or
red,
just say
smashes someone.
he's just, yeah, something like that. Then all of a sudden, okay, he's not going to play next game, so he's going to be last on my bench, and then I've got Davis. So that means, I've only got one person on my bench, and that's whoever, Livermento maybe, or maybe that's Sissoko. It's actually going to be Sissoko, and I'm playing Livermento probably against some bad pick. I'm not really in a great position there. Someone gets rotated, like I've got players who can be rotated, like Cancelo, James, Gallagher. Any of these guys could get dropped. Do I really want to do it? So it does appeal more to go to Antonio down to someone like King or Dennis, who I'm pretty certain are going to play. I just don't really want to sell Antonio because he's got nice fixtures coming up. But maybe I can get him back on a later time. Like Brighton at home is good this week. Burnley away in 16 is pretty good. But sandwiched between that is Chelsea at home, Arsenal away. Don't know about that one. It's really from game week 18 onwards, where they play Norwich, Southampton, Watford, Crystal Palace, and Leeds, that are going to want him. So maybe I do sell him this week and then I'm back to him in 4 or 5 weeks' time. Because if I get to where I want to be,
then turn Tony into him in 4 or 5 weeks' time. So I'm thinking.
Yeah. If I get to where I want to be, and I get Jota and I get Gundogan in a few weeks' time, I've kind of got. I know you can never say your team is set, but as it is at the moment with James, Rudiger, Alexander-Arnold, Cancelo, and Livermento, I don't see myself using any defensive transfers in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Even if Chelsea keep conceding goals and stuff like that, I'm sticking with that double Chelsea defense. I don't want to go up from Gallagher. I don't really want to go down from Gallagher. Rafinha's not going to last. He's got 2 more weeks before his fixtures turn. So Salah's obviously not going anywhere. And I can see myself using my last remaining transfers, moving around basically Antonio, my 3 strikers, and my 3rd and 4th midfielders. So I got to figure out what to use them on. So I could just, I can see myself coming off premium striker and go down to 3 duds in the forwards soon enough anyway. But Kane is there for now. I'll just commit to that decision for another 2 more weeks and reassess.
So you're not go on.
I was going to ask, how do you feel about Kane? Because you feeling a bit sour now. Obviously that game got postponed today.
No, I wouldn't say I'm feeling sour. I think it's hard to feel sour about something that's so out of our control, like so kind of freak, like those random things like weather postponements and stuff like that. They you just can't predict them. So I wouldn't let that affect me too much. I think that my plan what I wanted to attack was the Norwich match in 15. I think Norwich and Brentford are well, obviously this was pre Dean Smith coming to Norwich, and he's got a couple of clean sheets and stuff, but I was trying to attack Norwich in Gameweek 16 when Salah is away to Wolves, maybe look for a bit of a differential, and then Brentford the week before that in Gameweek 14 looked kind of appetising as well. It wasn't so much the Burnley match, and I've already suffered the Leeds match, which was a blank. Do you get me? So I'm still biding my time. And the plan, was to keep your premium striker spot there. I'm going to keep one for the season. There's so little premiums floating around this season. I feel uncomfortable. Like, usually you have a couple that you're trying to balance, like a Kane, a Son, a KDB, a Fernandez, a fucking Salah, all that kind of shit. And I just have Salah right now, and Kane's there almost because of how insecure I feel not having another captain option. And I'm worried that, I want to have that second choice. Like this season, I captained Son in game week 2 or whatever against Watford because I had that second captaincy option, and I don't want to I don't want to just be perma captaining Salah the whole time, or trapping myself into perma captaining Salah the whole time. I want to hit other options, so I'm happy to keep the premium striker spot there, be that Kane, Lukaku, or Ronaldo in the coming weeks. I don't see myself dropping to 3 duds, as you call them, dead duds, but
I feel that's wise. I mean, like you talk about perma captaining Salah there. Well, like if you're in that, okay, then that's one thing. But like Salah over the last 3 weeks, 6 going backwards. 13 he had 6, 12, 8 points, and in game week 11 he had 5 points. So what's that? 19 points. Over that same time, Trent is like starting going backwards again. Has had 9 this week, 15 and 12. He's outscored him in each of those 3 weeks. Yeah. So that's
a whole different argument. Do I go all the way? Like I'm arguing about having a premium defender, and you went all the way. Do we captain our fullbacks now?
No,
and that's a fair question. That's a fair question.
Yeah, but it's just that kind of like, the price that can be paid sometimes for perma captaining someone like Salah.
Yeah,
He's been tipping over, and I think everyone's kind of been happy enough, with 6 points this week, 8 points last week. I'm happy with those
yeah,
returns
me
for a
too.
captain. But I mean, you could have had 9 points this week for, if we all identified Liverpool was probably going to do well, and we know how well Alexander Arnold is. If you do stray outside the lines, in your coloring book, you might find your captaincy on the likes of that. You could have made 17 more points over these last 2 weeks. So there's room there and scope for a bit of fun.
There is, and I mean,
I
like I
just
could have also, kept Vardy instead of Kane, and like he got that massive haul today, 2 goals, and I'm sure there would have been a few Vardy owners out there thinking like I could stick the cap on, if Salah hadn't had such a fucking equally nice fixture this week, like you wouldn't have had a problem sticking an armband on a Leicester attacker against Watford. I wouldn't have anyway.
I would have before, like that's part of the reason about keeping Vardy was with this Watford game in mind. But
Yeah,
after he blanked against Watford, or not Watford, after he blanked against Leeds in game week 11, and then blanked against Chelsea and hit so many blanks, I was like, no, can't trust him with the armband, even though it was a great fixture.
yeah.
I wouldn't have done it this week. So fair play to anyone. I haven't seen anyone out there who've captained Vardy this week. If they did, fair play. That's a brave move. But yeah, I'm just starting to think I don't want any premium. I don't even want a second premium. I want to spread that funds around, but it's just it leaves you very inflexible then to get to a premium. That's the problem.
That's
But
what I'm saying.
I'd honestly want Salah and then just the rest of my team to be like 7.5 to 8.59 million players, as it stands. But are you still? So you said obviously that the plan is target Norwich. You mentioned beforehand how that plan had not been going well previous weeks for you. Like Jimenez this week did nothing. Tony the week before that did nothing. Stuff like that.
I think Vardy blanked against Norwich, didn't he? Lukaku got injured the week of Norwich. You know what I mean? I've just had no luck with trying to attack the Norwich fixtures this week. But that doesn't stop me looking at game week 15 and thinking I'd probably, unless I if he blanks, if Kane blanks, the question, if Kane blanks against Brentford, do I captain him against Norwich in the following game week? If he blanks on Tuesday or Wednesday night, whatever fucking night they're playing, and then the weekend, do I have the cojones to captain him against Norwich? I don't think I do. But I never had any faith in myself. So
I haven't earmarked who I'm going to captain that week anyway. I'm going to base it on form. I mean, we haven't seen anything about Kane.
So if Kane gets a hat trick against Brentford during the midweek, are you going to look at captain him at the weekend?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, me too.
Would you not?
No, me too. I'm not laughing at you.
The tougher question is, if he blanked, would you captain him? And I think I wouldn't.
Yeah.
If he gets a goal, then it's a tougher decision. But it depends how Spurs look. Okay, we went in on Spurs early. We got a bit boned by it. Okay, but we went in early, and
only because Vardy returned this week. For me personally, like if Vardy had blanked this week, I'm 2 for 2 or something like that. It's I just think. But go on, sorry.
No, but I was saying like we got boned in that we thought we were getting in to take advantage of the new manager bounce and the fixtures, but we only got one of those fixtures, and the other fixture they only come out to play for 45 minutes. But yeah, I can't see myself like if just say he does blank against Norwich, would you move over to Ronaldo like the plan was in game week 14 against Norwich?
I will stick to that plan. And it brings us on to our next talking point, which is, since we last potted, United have had 2 matches under Michael Carrick, the interim manager, and they've announced that Ranić is going to be taken over to the end of the season and following, having some behind the scenes kind of role after that. So he'll be the new interim manager. At least it hasn't been, I think, officially confirmed, but like that's essentially what everyone's talking about, and we're going to base it on that. So obviously there's going to be a new manager coming in. A lot of games in a short space of time means that he won't have a lot of time to actually implement his he won't have a lot of time at the training pitch implementing whatever ideas he wants to bring into the team. That's not going to probably happen until the new year, and it throws a bit of a spanner in the works of where I was looking at regarding Ronaldo, but not too much of a spanner. Like not enough for me to worry about it. Like I think come game week 16, I'm going to have a United asset in my team, and that will probably be Ronaldo, because their fixture run is too good.
I can't tell which United asset I would want. Their fixture run is insanely good, but Ranić, his whole thing is pressing, or what's it, the Guggen press? Is that what
Gegenpress,
he
I think.
coined? Gegen press, is that how it's
Yeah.
pronounced?
Was that not Klopp
Um,
that coined it? Or is that right? Oh,
no,
it's the other way around.
Klopp learned it.
Yes,
Klopp
yes,
learned it
yes,
from
yes. I
him,
did hear that
apparently.
today.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm not in au fait with all this stuff, but basically, yeah, if he's bringing that in, where do you see Ronaldo's input in there? Like Ronaldo was dropped today. It'd be really interesting if
But I
he doesn't
imagine,
start the first game for Ragnick, Thor Ragnarok, whatever his name is. I'm going to call him Thor. Yeah, if he doesn't start the first game for Thor, then yeah, what then? Then the Ronaldo plan's out the window.
yeah. But do you
Back to
honestly
Bruno.
think he's going to be just sitting on the? Do you think the one of the best players in the world is going to be sitting on the bench all the time? Even if you are,
Have a clue.
I don't. Again, you might be right, and it's something we will have to wait and see. And that is the kind of thing that would put me off it. If like all of a sudden, for United's fixtures against who would have been Arsenal midweek, Crystal Palace the week after. Go on.
If Cavani's fit, Cavani could be the shout because Cavani does a whole lot of pressing. I can see Cavani being kind of more in the manager's plans if that's the case. But his fitness is so he's like injured so often that I don't know if he's going to be available by then. But I would love to. Like I thought Cavani was going to have an amazing season this year before Ronaldo signed, and since then he's become like a non-starter basically.
I never saw Cavani ever being fit enough for lots of minutes. So I didn't have too much hope, but obviously, as seeing what he was capable of when he is fit and on the pitch, I was excited for that. But as an FPL manager, not a whole lot. But yeah, I'll be still looking to target those fixtures coming up. But I guess we're talking about the new United manager. There's another new manager that's making waves in the Premier League at the moment, and we kind of touched on him a while ago. But Stevie G, he's made his return in the Aston Villa dugout, and he saw Villa to their second victory in a row, I believe, this week. They won last week as well, I think.
2-2.
2-2.
Yeah. I still don't know what to make of Aston Villa now. I kind of in my head still think of them as poor, so kind of target them. When you're picking your players, I'm like, okay, they're playing Aston Villa, that's a good fixture. But yeah, 2-2 makes it a bit difficult. That said, it seemed to be a bit of a smash and grab victory against Crystal Palace. I don't know if it was smash and grab is the right term here now, but they only had an XG of 0.5 and they scored 2 goals. Crystal Palace had a higher XG, 0.88, so maybe they deserve to win. I haven't seen the game.
You're really doing this XG thing a lot tonight, Seamus.
Well, look, I just had a look. When I haven't seen the games, or I've just seen kind of like quick highlights, and I haven't really been able to analyze it properly. I just have a quick look at the XG just to see, look, what's the story of the game saying? Because sometimes points out like these guys had really good chances, and look, they can be deceptive because you could have like a shot from point blank range that the keeper saves, and then it falls to another guy and he misses an open goal, or
Yeah, I get it.
kicks straight at the keeper. So it doesn't really, so that can like rack up the XG, or you could have a penalty miss or something in there. But like, there's no penalty miss for Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just highlighting it because myself and Paddy just spent 45 minutes making knob gags, and you've been throwing XG at me since we sat down. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to bounce off it.
Yeah, look, it's just something I just want to try and get a bit more context into today's games because I just missed a lot of them. Just
I get it.
being a family man over the weekend.
Stop with your family man shit. We know you were out on a bender, a 4-day bender, and I had to drag you out of the gutter just to get you on this show. But Stevie G, you think he's a fraud? Is that what you're saying? Your XG, Stevie XG, is a lie.
No, I don't know is the point being, but I gotta shift my mindset for them being poor now to being they could be okay.
McGinn-Iniesta, is he? He did say after the match, McGinn-Iesta's good. I like him too, but he did say after the match that the gaffer, in a Scottish accent, I didn't do a Scottish one, but he said that he was told in those positions to have a crack at it.
Well, McGinn has got a good foot. He's got a good finish from that kind of distance outside the box.
And we can see Gerrard trying to nurture. Yeah, exactly. And he's trying to nurture that kind of, oh, dude, just do what I used to do,
Yeah, Gerrard knows how to finish from there as well. So he's got a sense for these things. He sees him in training. He's like, McGinn, just shoot every time you get into that position. And look, I'm not going to go to McGinn.
Guess how many goals and assists McGinn has this year?
How many goals and assists?
Yeah.
He scored before. I'd say that's his third goal. Might have 2 assists.
The same amount as Gundogan. 3 goals, 1 assist. Now, he has played, it looks like a significantly larger amount of minutes. But yeah, 10 point haul. And you know us, we're all about the latest craze. City next week, Villa are going to walk it. Absolutely walk it.
Yeah, well, like that's the thing. Who would you prioritize? So say I did want to get I did want to take a hit this week. So Cancelo, or sorry, not Cancelo, but Gundogan playing Aston Villa, and Jota playing Everton. Who would you say is a better one to go for? And then say I'll get the next one in on the weekend after.
So looking at the next two fixtures at a minimum, Liverpool have Everton and Wolves both away, and City have Villa and Watford both away. Gundogan, Jota. I go Jota. I think
you go Jota this weekend, Gundogan in then for the Watford game at the weekend.
I never said I'd go Gundogan in, but yeah, I would prioritize Jota over the two. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I could just take a -8,
or do that if you had a pair of balls. That would be my first suggestion. Is just do it right now. I think I'd like to target both of them right now.
Yeah,
that's what
they're definitely my move. So I'm either rolling my transfer this week and going -4 next week and get all three of those in. Or I'll go -4 this week and get whoever I don't get in of those two midfielders in at the weekend. Those I think are going to be my moves. I think I'm going to take a hit this week or next week.
I think you need to actually pull your finger out of your ass. Go -8 this week. Not even think about it, man. Just do it. Like actually, and that's your team set up. Then roll your transfer next week. You don't even know if I'm serious. That's so much.
I do know you're serious. I know you're serious because you want me to take -8.
You don't know if I genuinely think it's the right option though. You just think I'm trying to sabotage you.
No, I do. No, I do know it. I do know what you think. I do know you think I shouldn't do that.
No, I think you should do that.
You don't. I know you. When was the last time you took a -8? You would never endorse a -8.
I've taken -8s. That's happened. If I was having the shocking start of the season, just outside the 100k mark, like you, 105k, delete your team. I might as well. You might as well go full hog.
Talking about. I'm in a fine position to worry about. Talking about shocking positions, right? How did Paddy's team do this week? Do we know?
I've no idea. I don't look down. I don't look down that far in the FPL ranks.
He had a green arrow, right? He was on like 49 points or something like that last night. He had Jota.
Yeah,
that was his move this week.
Well, he's not here, so he doesn't get to brag about it. All right, simple as that. No, he did though. I'm joking. He did get Jota in this week, and all went well. I think just kind of probably the same as myself, just a slightly above the average score, which is always good. But looking,
see if I find him here. He must be on a green arrow.
Well, it wouldn't be hard. He's like 1.whatever million. But getting that back to brass tacks, especially while you're looking through that, we're nearly done. We've done so much FPL digesting.
Oh, actually, he didn't. He had a bad day today.
Oh, really? I felt like today might have been a bad day.
So he was on 49 points yesterday. He finished on 53.
What? Who got all the points today then? I don't think I got much points.
So he got 0 points for Ronaldo today. Yeah. He got 1 point for...
That yellow card was pretty hilarious.
Yeah. He got 2 points for Antonio. He got 1 point for Cancelo, 1 point for James. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He just had like 4 points today. Didn't do too great. So, yeah, he actually... I don't know if he got a green or red. He might have actually got a red.
I'm going to call out his overall rank there because he's been giving so much shit to the listeners that I think it's only fair.
He got a green. Yeah, he's up to 1.37. I guess if you're...
1.37 million. You heard it here.
Yeah. But I told him a few weeks ago, he'll be back inside top million soon,
Yeah. And then you
got to keep playing ABC FPL.
Yeah, and then you plummeted all the way out of the 100k, Seamus. So you've left it up to little old me.
I dropped 10k. Would you give me
plummeted all the way out? I need to get it in now. I only get these conversations every 2 weeks, so I don't want to. I don't want to miss my chance. While you're here, tell me who you captain next week, or game week, not next week, but game week 14. Who are you captaining?
Let me pull up my team here. Okay, so auto captain is right on Salah right now. I've got it pretty well set up. Mm-hmm. Double Chelsea defense against Watford away. Although we do know that they attack quite a bit, but I'd be confident of a clean sheet there. Cancelo away to Aston Villa. Alexander-Arnold and Salah away to Everton. Be tempted to captain Kane against Brentford, but I've seen zero form from Spurs to trust him with the armband. I think it would have to be with Salah.
Yeah, you're going with the easy shot.
Yeah. I mean,
unless you go -8. and all of a sudden you've got Gundogan.
No, I'm not captain him either. No,
You need something to
I
pull
think
your season out of the mire.
I go away now. Just tip away. If I was going to go for any kind of punty captain this week, it would probably be like Rafinha against Crystal Palace. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
think there
no.
could be
What about
goals
you?
in that. I'm looking forward to that match.
Yeah, I look forward to that.
Yeah, I thought about this. Salah. No, I'm just gonna go Salah. Everton still look kind of shit. Like I know they lost today to Brentford, so it's not shocking to say that they're still looking kind of shit. But yeah, I just think Liverpool. I know it's away, and I know that we're back to having the full stadiums this year, so these derbies actually mean something when you're full-blooded. Yeah. But I do. Did you see Klopp's comments on the match?
On which match?
On next week's
the Southampton game?
No.
Yeah. What's he saying?
Oh, he just basically was like, "Oh, well, I think these matches can get blown out of proportion, and I just want to go there and play football. So let's hope they do too." And I was just like, "Oh, you're such a little bitch."
Everton have Doucouré back though.
Yeah, I watched him today, and he does make a big difference, but they're still absolutely shit. From what I like Brentford could have got a couple of more today. You have all your XGs there. Do you have XG for the Brentford Everton match?
Give me a moment. It takes a minute for this to load, unfortunately. Where is it? Brentford Everton. I had it up earlier. I can't recall from the top of my head. It was close enough though. I think it was like 1 point whatever, 1.8 to 1.5. It'll load here in a second. But I remember thinking, yeah, I mean, Doucouré being back, I still wouldn't mind targeting him. Yeah, it was basically a draw in this one. It was 1.2 to Brentford to 1.22 for Everton.
And it was just a penalty separating them, obviously.
Yeah. Like obviously that penalty would have been a huge amount. That would be about 0.7 or something like that. So yeah, Brentford didn't create a whole lot. That's part of what makes me think selling Tony this week might be better. But yeah, I'm going to think long term. As I said, I've got like 8 fixtures written out here in front of me, and like Tony's fixtures are better than Antonio's for the first 4. It's really those last 4 by game week 18 where Antonio's are better. But sure, he could be injured by then. So I think I'll just sell Tony this week. I should have sold him before now, probably. It's the people who sold him a couple of weeks ago.
What do you mean you should have sold him before now? He's just gotten like 15 points in 2 weeks.
No, Antonio.
Oh, sorry.
I should have. It's the people that sold Antonio a couple of weeks back, like yourself, real winners.
Yeah, exactly. Made a good decision, and that's gonna be what wins me the overall prize. And speaking of overall prizes, we have talked about the FPL Hangover December mini league competition, and I do think the league is still open, James. You reopened it, and a couple of people hopped in, and we're going to leave it open until the game week 14 kicks off, and then we'll close it, and it'll be locked in for the rest of the year. But whoever is in the league between and wins manager of the month, so the manager for December, it doesn't matter how shit you've been doing before that, you can come in, and if you knock December out of the park, we will send you off a goodie bag and a little pack full of shit. And if you want to do that, the code is PC0861. It's on your screen if you're on YouTube, and if not, listen again. It's PC0861. This week, Seamus, you won't be shocked to see that there's been no change at the top of the FPL Hangover Mini League.
Nope.
Donny's Duds. He's been the what would you say? He's been unfairly criticized, I think, by our podcast partner Patrick. And he's come back with a couple of comments, and he has really shoved it up his ass. Not up Paddy's ass, I mean. And he's had a pretty decent week again. He's got 57 this week. At least this is what this is telling me now. Again,
no, I've got actually the most up to date league here.
Oh,
I can call it out to you. Yeah, live FPL.
Way to make my fucking.
There must be bonus points not included. Sorry, there must be bonus points or transfers not included here, but I can tell you he's got 62 points going to this. So he's top of the league. That's and look,
what's that moved him into overall? Because he was like in the top 1K at the end of last season or last week.
Good question. I'll find out here now, but I didn't realize he was doing that well. Like he's like got a good 20.
Of course, you're too busy fucking throwing shade his way. A couple of weeks ago, you and Paddy, I would take a week off, and you're calling people casuals left, right, and center.
He's had a green arrow from 938 overall. Jeez, that's brilliant. Up to 629.
Oh.
That's a huge
It
red
was a
arrow.
good
Yeah,
fucking score.
it was, yeah. But like his last two game weeks in a row, he's had his game week rank has been the top 50k each week. So, getting one of those, 5-digit game week rank is a big green arrow. He's got two in a row. So yeah, only game week 10 he
You're
was
just
in
propagating your
11k.
5-digit game week score theory. I saw you spouting that on Twitter. Oh, I haven't had one yet. They're the weeks where you make the real ground, kids. Calling
Of
everyone
course they are.
kids on
What are you
Twitter.
talking about? Yeah, well, they are.
I know. I
That-
just try to anything I can
getting
throw
a
at you.
six-digit rank. A six-digit rank is all you want. You just want to keep like sub 1 million each week, and you're flying. You're getting green after green if you do that. But I mean, yeah, get one of those and that's where you make like you have your rank. But he got two in a row, so yeah, he's up to 600 and what did I say, 629? Yeah, so like well done. Yeah, he's 24 points clear of FPL Fairy Steve Horan, who's on 913. And your man in Mexico, Gavin Doyle, is in third, 912, just a point behind. Scott Kent in fourth with his team Spreadsheet Warriors, 909 points. And in fifth, we got Jack Spalding with his team Emil Smith Joe. That's 902 points. Then we've got our good friend FPL Robert Ducky with his team Rubber Duckies. That's Peter Ovington, 899. Martin Baker, 899, tied with him there. Baker's Beauties. Then I can't read that. That's
I just call
Trevor
him
B's
Trevor.
team.
Just call him Trevor. Yeah.
Yeah, Trevor B's team, 897, and he seems to have Japanese characters, or
that could be anything. That might not be Japanese. That could be like Norse ruins for all I fucking know.
They could be. I don't know what it is. And in ninth, then you've got Shawshank Redmondson. That's a good team name. That's a bit in Mukherjee. And yeah, in number 10 then FPL dad Richard Everson. So he's a former number one. Dropped from 5th down to 10th. He's sliding, but I'm sure he can arrest that slide. He's still top 10.
Yeah, well, for those watching, I apologize because the order was arseways. So yeah, the official FPL site obviously hasn't updated shit. But yeah, that's the mini league, and yeah, Donny might be having a smashing game week or run at the moment, but he isn't manager of the month for December. None of that will count. It's winner takes all, Seamus. So get yourselves into the link or into the league, and there'll be. I think you can put a link in things. I might put a link in the description down below. But that about wraps it all up, Seamus. We've done our duties. We've done our duties on game week 13. Now, obviously, with the tight turnaround, or game week 13 and 14. Obviously, with the tight turnaround, game week 15 might come a little bit too soon for us. So. This is me beating around the bush saying I'm gonna maybe do a live stream on Thursday, but I don't want to make any promises because I see what I can put together and what my work is. But I'm thinking like I might do a post Man United. It could be the post first Ranić match as well against Arsenal. We don't know anything. It's exciting. And I might do a post-match live stream, which would obviously focus in a bit more specifically on Game Week 15. But I think we've covered a bit of both this evening, and I hope you enjoyed it. Seamus, you have all the dirty details. Where can they find the show?
Yeah, before I just give out that, I just want to point out as well, because we mentioned it pre-pod to ourselves, and I think we meant to mention it on the pod. Every team that's playing at home this week is playing at home in Game Week 15 too. And vice versa if they're playing away. So like for example in 14 United are at home to Arsenal, they're also at home in 15 to Palace. So the home teams don't have to travel the next 2 weeks. I guess with the tight turnaround time that seems to be intentional. I
won't lie, I didn't forget. I didn't understand when you said it beforehand. I don't know what it means. Like, can you put it in a TLD or what should FPL managers know?
Yeah, if your team is playing at home game week 14, they're also going to be home. We've got 2 home games in a row. Or you've got 2 away games in a row.
Sure, we never fucking advocate looking at only 2 game weeks anyway. So unless we never advocate just looking 2 game weeks ahead. So does it matter if they balance out the weeks after? Isn't that what you said?
Oh no, just it's something to consider when you're making your transfers. If somebody's got a nice home game this week, and you're considering getting them in, just know that have another home game the following week as well. It might make your decision a bit easier.
Jota's got away. Gundogan. You think it's interesting? I feel dumb.
I think it's worth considering.
I think I'm just missing something. I genuinely think, oh well, that is an interesting point. But
well, normally your team is home 1 week, away the next week, home 1 week, away the next week. A lot of time, this is one of those rounds where it's home, away, or So.
Okay, come back to me and go, Jer. Do you remember a couple of weeks ago when you were being a dope at the end of the podcast? Here's what I meant, and you'll be able to show me the 2 fixtures side by side, and I'll go cut this off the show.
I mean. it just means if you're it just means if you're at home, if you've got a team who's at home this week, they've got 3 home games in their next 4.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
More
Oh, I
likely.
get you. So if you're going -8 this week, you shouldn't get in players that are playing away for the next 2. Like
Yeah, see
Jota
all
and
the
Bellingham.
all the big teams like Man City, Chelsea, and Liverpool,
Yeah.
they're all away this week, so they've got 3 away games in their next 4, unfortunately. So
Let me ask you a quick question before I let you shove out all the social media. Alonso, yay or nay? Akia Nishnish?
yeah, I think he's.
I can go Marcel to Alonso this week.
Oh yeah, I'd probably do that.
Yeah, so you think do that because that's what I'm thinking I'll do. I'm a
It's
bit worried.
fine
He went off in like 88 minutes, and Tuchel did say like, oh, I just, he hasn't played a lot of minutes, and I wanted to attack the fact that United weren't using a lot of forwards, so that was what he excused that with. You pretty confident that he's going to play Chelsea's upcoming fixtures? Like he just is the Chilwell replacement, right?
Yeah, actually, I'd like to just admit, I think he's a fine pick. If I didn't have James, I'd be prioritizing James personally,
afford
but
James.
you can't get him.
I have
Yeah.
Rudiger. I think Rudiger and Alonso are okay.
Yeah, would you not wait a week and just get on James? I think I'd rather wait a week and get on James, get on who I think is the right asset. But look, Chilwell, or sorry, not Chilwell. Alonso took all the set pieces, the corners today.
Oh, he took all of the fucking corners.
Yeah, left and right.
That's when I was watching that and I was going, this is crazy. Like James has actually become a worse asset. And I do think that with ZH on the pitch, James is a little less attacking. But that's just ice test.
CH is only on the pitch, this week. He probably won't be on the pitch next week.
Yeah.
There's people like Havertz had a knock. I know he was available. Lukaku's back now as well. I think with Lukaku back, James is going to be incredible asset to have. He's exactly the sort of player you want to be whipping in there. And I'd like to just amend my previous statement.
Kevin De Bruyne is not a has-been. I just wanted to get that in before the show is over.
No, I was incorrect. I said, if you've got, if you've got a home game this week, you've got 3 home games in 4. It's actually 3 home games in 5, because it actually turns out then they do it the opposite way. If you've got 2 home games next, you've got 2 away games in 16, 17 before it's back in 18 again. So, it's if you've got a home game this week, you've got 3 home in 5.
Okay.
Slightly better than average. Yeah, but it's nothing. I thought it might be able to take more advantage of that. Anyway, the dirty details of the pod. Okay, you can follow us on Twitter if you're not already at FPL Hangover. If you want to follow me, I'm at FPL Drunk, but follow the pod. We're also on YouTube, so you might be watching our beautiful faces on there. Make sure you like, subscribe. We're also available to hear on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Breaker, Castbox. I listen on Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Stitcher. I might start listening on a few more. Might start listening on Apple Podcasts a bit more. But if you are listening on any of these like Apple Podcasts, make sure you like and rate the pod, because that helps more people find us.
Yeah, do what he does.
You can also email us at fplhangover@gmail.com. Is there anything I've missed?
Did you do the Twitter? I was too busy lost in you listing out all the fucking podcast platforms.
I know, yeah. It makes us seem more professional that we're on all these different podcasts. What are you listening on? What are you listening on, Jared?
I do Spotify, yeah. I do
Spotify, man.
Spotify.
Yeah.
I think they're bringing
like
video
this.
to Spotify soon as well, so hopefully I'll be able to start putting this up on Spotify with a video.
I did the Twitter already. Yeah, everyone follows us on Twitter.
Shit. All right, cool. That's brilliant. Okay, enjoy your little rest before Game Week 14 kicks off. Ensure that you enjoy the game week, and most importantly, God bless.